Roll call, please. If you're here, please mark that you're present. We're not showing up the roll call. I need approval for the agenda tonight. We have a motion by Mike Nunnery and a second by Barry Holland. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Number 2 is the citizens forum for tonight. I have one person who signed up, and that is Commissioner Price from the 6th District.
No.
Is his brother Jim?
Okay, Jim. Come forward, please.
Yes, we are.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not. Huh?
That may not be a good thing. Could be. Listen, folks, tonight I asked to speak about a subject that means a whole lot to me. So I'm going to just lay it out there. What's that word? You were still calling me something? I don't even know who that is. But anyway, it has to do with the rat. I asked to speak tonight because of a situation that happened 4 or 5 weeks ago, I guess. I had the opportunity to go over to Paris to the Mike Weatherford show, a couple of different times. And while I was over there, an interesting thing happened. The second time I was there, the candidates that were running for mayor were all talking. And we sat there and we listened, and it was some interesting things talking back and forth. One of the things that happened during that meeting is what got me to the point where I came here and asked to speak with you. During that meeting, there was a comment made regarding the peanut gallery. How many of you have heard of peanut gallery before? Heard that all my life. Tell you how old some of you folks are. The phrase peanut gallery I thought was a little bit unusual to use. There were about 14 or 15 people sitting out in the audience. We had, I think there were 5 commissioners that were there. There was mothers, children, fathers, husbands and wives, an ex-mayor and an ex-sheriff. So I looked around and thought that, these folks are pretty good people. But the next day, I got a telephone call from a friend of mine that does not live in this county. And my friend asked me, he said, "Is that the way you folks do business in Benton County? Calling people peanut gallery folks?" Well, we talked. We've been friends ever since we've been in high school. Little kids. But I found it to be a little bit disturbing. And this friend of mine is involved in politics. And he said, "I find it unusual that people would use that term in a public forum." Well, about 3 hours after that, I got another phone call. The same subject came up. And I sat and thought about it, and I thought, this is not the way to conduct business. So I went home, and I looked up the phrase peanut gallery. It refers to a group of people who offer unsolicited comments, criticism, or unwanted advice. It's often used in a dismissive way to describe a source of interruptions from individuals whose opinions are not considered significant. In other words, I don't care what you think. Say what you want to. I don't care. The term originated in the late 19th century when they had these vaudeville shows live. It was dinner theater. The more wealthy people sit down at the bottom. They had a nice dinner and they watched the movie or the theater. The actors. The people that were less influential set up in the gallery. They had snacks, probably some fruit, peanuts, popcorn, whatever. When they became dissatisfied with things, they would throw them. They let the folks know that they were unhappy. Now, this is leading up to something that I'm about to talk about. All right. When I thought about the peanut gallery, I looked back at history, and I was interested in finding out or thinking about people that made up the peanut gallery back many years ago. The first group that came to mind was the apostles, Jesus' disciples. They spoke out. They said what they wanted to say. Of course, the emperor didn't like it, and we know what happened. Crucifixions, beheadings, people dragged through the streets. I'm glad we don't do that now. The second group that came to mind was the First Continental Congress. Those guys that had the nerve to stand up and tell the king, we're not being properly represented. We're being overtaxed, overworked. People like Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, John Hancock. They wrote the Declaration of Independence. It started off with, we the people. It wasn't about special interest groups. It was about the people. They were there to represent the people. And we know what happened. Revolutionary War came about. Most of those people were killed. A lot of them weren't. But they were not afraid to stand up and say what they thought, knowing that something's going to happen later. So, what I want to talk about today has nothing to do. I keep hearing all of this stuff on Facebook, seeing it, hearing public comments. It's about respect for the people. I would like to see more respect for the people. We go to these meetings, people make comments. We're allowed to make these comments. But when I hear stuff from my friends in other counties, and they say, is that the way you do business in Benton County? And I said, well, sometimes it seems that way. I would like to ask all of you, to pay attention. You're ambassadors from our county. When you go to these other counties, other towns, talk to these people, remember, you're the face of our county. You're representing us. Self-respect for yourself, self-respect for our county, because you're representing Benton County. And that's what concerns me. We're not getting enough of that. Because when Jerry and I went to school at Paris.
Mr. Price?
Yes, ma'am.
You've gone over your 5 minutes, several minutes.
My time's up. Okay.
If you can hurry up and just end your...
What I want to ask you is, please show respect for this county when you're conducting business. Jerry and I used to go to school over there. We'd catch it every day. You know what? We was at school over there, 50, 60 years ago. It's still going on today. It's still going on today. They being people in these other counties, are grading us right now. They're looking at us. So my time's up. But thank you all. I appreciate it. Just understand that this is where we live, and I'd appreciate it if you would keep that in mind. Thank you much.
Number 3 on the agenda is the commissioner's forum. We have a commissioner that wants to speak. Commissioner Jerry Price, the other brother.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Just a couple of things real quick. I know I made some requests last month of Mr. King, and we were not able, evidently, that was 5 weeks ago, evidently, we were not able to resolve the issue of getting Ms. Shaw up here to address the commission in executive session. And I understand she's got a full calendar too. I appreciate you, Mr. King, trying to get her up here, but I'm going to rescind that request. I have since been able to get the documentation I would like to have had. This is a public document. Everybody can get it. It's the mediator's final report. You can get it up here in the clerk and master's office if you so want to read it. But in the process, I had asked the mayor, I sent him a text message that said, can commissioners attend that mediation? And he responded, let me check with the attorney. And so anyway, Mr. King got back to me, and it's a good response. And I was asking as a commissioner for all commissioners, not just myself. And Mr. King responded, I won't read through all of this. It's my understanding the county commission authorized the mayor to serve as a representative of Benton County in the lawsuit. This being the case, the mayor is the only person with authority to attend the mediation as the party representative for Benton County. To me, that says, Mr. Mayor, you're the only one that can attend that mediation, if I read it correctly. Am I reading it correctly, Mr. King? Okay. And mediation will be brought to the commission for approval. Any such settlement can become final. In addition to the foregoing, mediators and attorneys generally prefer that one party representative participates in mediation for practical purposes. Lastly, this approach also serves as protection against the risk of violating the Tennessee Open Meetings Act. And I fully understand that. We are bound as a commission when we have certain things that are being mediated, lawsuits, things like that. We are bound to keep certain things to ourselves. We don't want a bunch of rumors spread. That being said, it's been brought to my attention that there was somebody, Mr. Mayor, that attended with you. That's Miss Rita Haslam. Is that correct?
You go ahead and say what you need to say, and I'll let my attorneys or the attorneys answer whatever questions you have. So.
Okay, thank you. This is all public information because Ms. Haslam has told citizens, and that word has got back to us. So I'm not speaking out of school, just so you know.
I didn't say you were speaking out of school,
That's
but
okay.
I know
It's my 5 minutes, Mayor.
Do you want me to answer your question?
I'm not asking you right now.
I'm not speaking out of school. I'm saying that in dealing with you and a couple of the other ones, I'd rather the attorneys
Mr. Mayor, this
answer
is my
your questions.
time. If you would silence yourself, I'd appreciate it. Would you?
Yeah,
Thank you.
If you don't want to hear from me, that's fine. Don't
Thank
ask
you
me
very
anything.
much. Also, I've got another subject I'd like to bring up quickly. Has nothing to do with that. And it has something to do with, and this is just a question because I found this. It was attached to a document. And it has to do with certification of transferring $92,597 of a FAA, it looks like a grant, from our county to Fayette County. But this was attached to a document I had. I don't know why I received it, but I got it. And Mr. Mayor, I'd love for you to answer that one. These are questions that I think everybody ought to be asking, folks. I know some of us don't like the word transparency. I like the word transparency. I want all of us to be transparent. You all are the people that pay the bills. You're the taxpayers of this county. You deserve to know the truth. I yield the floor. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. The subject is the budget. Never have I been witness to such a budget process as the one that we're in now. There's no urgency to bring this budget to a vote. Urgency I have been witness to year after year after year. Let's hurry up and bring this budget to a vote. The sheriff, 12 budgets the sheriff's attended as sheriff. And now the question shows up given to his policy. We have members of this commission, members of this government body, people that want to be a part of this body, describing to our citizens, it's the sheriff's fault. It's the sheriff's fault. We've not voted on a budget. The sheriff has put us in a pickle. The mayor expresses concerns with having an audit finding, an audit write-up. The sheriff, in his 12 budgets, his 12 years, never has a sheriff had an audit finding or write-up. Budget chair at the last meet discussed $60,000, just not enough in the overtime line for the sheriff. I ask, when has not enough ever mattered? How many times, commissioners, have we heard just ask for more later in the year? We've heard that a lot. I've never witnessed a problem, Lori Brasher, one of the two smartest people I know, that couldn't fix a problem fast. Lori, at her last budget meeting, reads laws on paying overtime as to show budget and anyone listening the sheriff had done wrong, the sheriff had made some mistakes. I'm going to say without actually knowing, Lori was asked to find language showing the sheriff at fault. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize. This mayor, in his 4 years of service, one time has asked me to give him some help. One time, I'll say it again. The request was work the numbers, work the dollars against the sheriff. The action of this budget chair, of this mayor, of colluding, that's a hard word to say, colluding together, I consider to be a shenanigan. And it looks as if they're getting away with it. Or might there be more? Another reason, a distraction from the budget vote. Smears the sheriff, hurts his reelection, delay the budget vote, all in one wrapping. The budget we have before us, dollars that are being transferred, dollars that are being moved, dollars that are being spent will not be popular with these voters. Debt service account, not yet voted on, but debt service shows almost a $1 million underfunded budget. The budget that we're fixing to vote on. And this is after budget and the mayor moved $600,000 from the school. $600,000 from the school to the debt service is still $1 million underfunded. Very few commissioners in this room probably know and voters know about this budget showing better than $1.7 million being transferred from debt service to accounts 171 and 178. I'm not against all these programs, but let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it. So far, all of these subjects I'm talking about are flying below radar. I ask you, commissioners, how many of y'all know that our next TVA impact check or payment is destined not to our general fund, not to our debt service, but it's destined to account 171. How about that? You can read about it. It's on page 11, section 4 on the most recent draft. Account 171, after $2.9 million in expenditures and a $500,000 underfunded budget, the fund balance still has a fund balance of almost $3 million. Another fact, most have no knowledge of, the budget not yet voted on could have estimated the highway department budget to show in the state aid project line $150,000. Instead, budget shows to show zero. Had they showed $150,000, then we would have or could have eliminated the 25% cut in asphalt going to be received by the highway department. Yes, asphalt was cut $150,000. Tell me the mayor ain't got a plan. You that don't know it, that's because the mayor's got a club and you ain't in it. Little George Carlin, y'all. What I described to y'all, you really aren't good talking points for anyone, especially the voters. In closing, I don't believe everything I hear, and neither should you. Chairman, I yield the floor. Thank you.
Mr. Fowler, you're next.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Of course, I'd ask Scott Hill there to see if we could play a couple of news clips on data centers, but apparently you said no. But let's let these speak just for a minute. What I want to talk to you about is these data centers. Everybody seems to be at ease that we're not getting nothing of that nature. Well, maybe we're not at this time, but it's not from the lack of trying. We got the information about this NDA back around March. But that NDA was done in between January, 1st of January, 31st of January, because that was the billing cycle on the attorney. What I would like to see, and see if we can do this, is let's create what 2 or 3 other counties, or just about the biggest part of Tennessee, has done, a moratorium for 1 year to halt anything like a data center until we can come up with some kind of resolutions that would not zone, Keith. I know you don't like zoning because you're a realty man, but right now, any individual might could sell property for one of these data centers, and the self-contained things, there may be a spot in Benton County for a data center, but the county, the individuals in the county need to make this decision. Joe, Dick, and Harry could sell a piece of property right next to you. Someone had bought it online or something like that, and put in one of these data centers that is a self-contained thing, but they put out a lot of decibels of sound between 85 and 100. But a moratorium, big word for me, would put a halt on this for anything happening for a year till we come up with some kind of resolution to put a stop to it, or at least make this commission that represents the people here in Benton County, make sure that's what we want. So, Mr. King, how would we do a moratorium for a data center?
We'll have to look into that. Soon, county commission, as the local governing body, would have to present it in some form of resolution to be voted on.
Right. Well, a definition of a moratorium is a temporary suspension, delay, or halt to a specific activity or legal obligation, and severe as designated. Time out, in other words. It extends to allow organizations, governments, and individuals to pause operations, reassess circumstances, and resolve underlying issues without the immediate pressure of normal rules and deadlines. And this is something, like I said, I had a couple of clips to play from the news where Coffee County, Rutherford County, they got the big thing going on up there at the National Zoo. Apparently a realtor company has sold the property right next to the zoo for $23 million, and they're going to put a data center there unless they invoke the infinite domain or something of that nature, which will be a self-containing unit, I'm sure. But by looking into those, they produce a lot of decibels, 85 to 100. 6 hours of 85 decibels is damaging your hearing, and if you step it up to 100, it takes about 4 hours. So you think of what it does to the wildlife. But I think we need to do something about this. Again, if you like the data center thing, all it is property tax. People talk about you're going to get a lot of engineers, welders. You're going to get it. You're going to get the union workers come in and to build the thing. But once that's done, it's over with. It ain't nothing but a bunch of CPUs sitting in the building. Had an opportunity one time working for SNA Air. I wondered why we need to put two 10-ton units on top of about a 20 by 25 building. I seen why when I went inside of it. But I think we need to do something and just put a freeze so nobody can sell no property for a data center. What do you think, Mr. King? If this body agrees to it, and that's just protecting the people of Benton County until we come up with something to a resolution wise. But you've never done nothing like that.
No, it's not my fault. It's my opinion. It's what I think. But if you guys voted on that kind of action, I would look to do whatever was required as a result of the vote.
Can we create that moratorium tonight?
No, you would need to have a resolution, isn't that right?
I believe so. You need to have a resolution, and I would give a word of caution.
Yes.
Before you start trying to dictate what people can or cannot do.
I agree with you, but a data center is something that's going to affect anybody around that property. It ain't like putting just a goat farm on or putting a hog farm on.
And
This is something.
I mean, I raise the caution because
Right. Well, that's why you do a moratorium for a year to work out the kinks.
wading off into constitutional issues that can result in
I agree.
litigation. And
So
then
how?
the litigation going on in these counties that you're referencing that are doing these things, there's lawsuits that have already been filed. It's kind of, it's a sticky issue, that's for sure. But ultimately, if the county commission votes to take that approach, then I would do what I could to benefit the county in that regard.
So what do you need? Do you need more information about it as far as, you say lawsuits? Have you seen lawsuits in other counties suing because of the individuals suing because of the moratorium?
And my understanding is there's litigation going on in Davidson County in relation to the story you were referencing with the zoo.
There is.
The attempt to stop it, the attempt to keep it going, so
Right.
at least to that litigation. So as far as like the framework or the sort of mechanics of developing a moratorium like you're speaking to, I don't have that in my back pocket sitting here. So if you guys move for such a thing, we would have to craft the language that would ultimately be used for the details of the moratorium, trying to do it where we offended the least, I suppose, in relation to
Right.
constitutional right.
Well, I'm looking at one here for Warren County. I'm looking at one for Grundy County. Of course, my clips was on Rutherford County, Coffee County, and things of that nature. But, we're going to have to do something because, don't get me wrong, there's probably a place for a data center in Benton County, but I'm sure there's no one that has livestock or has, a home next to an area. A lot of people buy our property now. I get people continuously sending me letters from everywhere wanting to buy my property. And so you don't know what's going to happen with that property. But we are allowed to create restrictions, right, for the county, correct?
That can happen.
Yeah, is there a lawsuit chance for creating a restriction?
Well, lawsuit chances.
Yeah.
Connected to almost anything, so
Well.
we can't really, but there's just maybe better approaches versus not better approaches.
Well, that's what a moratorium does. It just holds up everything. If there's something in the process until something's come up with the county. So what do we need to do? Would this governing body want to vote to protect the neighbors and the taxpayers of Benton County from something they may not want? Maybe the resolution would read, say, hey, my neighbor gives the authority or something. I don't know. But anyways, I think we need to create something to protect the people of Benton County, not the lifelong people here, but the people that are buying our property up through sales and things online. that you don't know what they're gonna do with it. And these database centers, they can stand alone. They're just like an engine in a car. They'll have a cooling system, air cooling system. So, you know, it's something I think we need to look into somehow. And I don't know how. I mean, I've give you what I know, but it's getting it done. It's going to take a little more than me. I yield the floor.
Commissioner Arnold.
I'm not gonna disagree 100% with what Dwayne's talking about. Data center's gonna bring in a bunch of property taxes and personal property taxes. What Dwayne's talking about is flat out zoning your county, because every one of these counties you're talking about, man, they have countywide codes. They have zoning. That means that you see, I hate to use the word, you see these people on HOAs and they say, we got a Karen, and runs over there and says, I don't say that, my wife's named Karen. I mean, I don't want to get in trouble. Now, honey, this ain't talking about you, you're with the Karen. But, you know, say, hey, I don't want that next to my house, I don't want this. You know, how far do you want to go to where you saying, you know, well, I got this data center we want, but what if a guy got a farm and he wants to sell it to Tyson Chicken? You want to have a Tyson Chicken farm, you want to put a moratorium on those. You gotta have a countywide zoning plan, you know, board. That means that when I wanna go up here, or where, anybody in this audience wants to go in there and cut a lot off your, property to give your kids, if you're gonna have to have a survey, you're gonna have to take that survey to a board. That board will have to approve what you're cutting off, what you wanna put there. Well, I really don't want anybody telling me what 100% what I'm gonna do with my land, you know, now. Do we need some kind of things to include a few little things? Yeah, we do, but we've got some problems in the county where people, you know, are not obeying the state laws and stuff like that. You know, if we could have an ordinance, well, counties cannot pass ordinances. Cities can, counties can't, without some kind of special act through the legislature. But, you know, I don't think we could have a moratorium on something when we don't have any county-wide zoning. Now, the city of Camden could do it, you know, because they've got a zoning board, and they have a planning commission, and they can, you know, they got property that's zoned a certain way. Now, where we can protect our county is the industrial board knows that, hey, we don't want to but you don't sell any land to them. But if Joe Blow comes up here and offers somebody $20 million for their farm, I can tell you, they ain't gonna really keep telling them that they think they got $20 million and go to the house. Now, I'm not disagreeing 100% with what he says, but even in Davidson County, the rules and the regs and the code, the zoning, where they're putting it at is zoned right for the type of business that they're gonna put there. So you can't just go in here and say, I want to do eminent domain, because eminent domain means you gotta do something for the benefit of the county, like you have a project, a school or something that you want to put there. So you gotta be very careful when you go out here and start saying, I want to put a moratorium, or I want zoning, because that's what you're talking about. You're talking about zoning your county and having to get permits and having to get approval by people that on that board for you to cut a lot off your land. Now, if there's some things we need to look at.
Nobody's talking that much, Keith. Nobody's talking about a data center. That's it. We ain't getting into separating spots for campers. You know what I mean?
You can't go up here and just say, I'm gonna do this without having this program here. And that's
How is that?
together. You gotta have countywide zoning.
How is that?
Come in here and zone, do a moratorium. Because this board has no authority to come up here and tell me what to do with my land or anybody in this audience. Unless you have a planning and zoning board. And you have countywide ordinances and countywide zoning. And every county you mentioned has, you go to Humphreys County, they got countywide zoning.
Do they?
Humphreys County,
No, not all those he mentioned, but I've already talked to people in those counties.
Rutherford County, and all those do. And I mean, so,
Lawrence
you
County.
better be very careful.
Coffee County don't. I ain't talking about zoning people on all that, Keith. It's just a concern of the data center, man. That's just it.
They won't figure it out with you $20 million with all that land you got around your house. You won't say nothing. Probably not.
Okay, I think that's enough on the data center, but
Cool,
I
thank
think we all agree with you, we don't want the data center.
Do what?
But I said we all agree with you, just about, I'm sure everybody, that we don't want the data center.
And,
But how we approach it, we need to be, like the attorney said, very careful. So
Yeah.
it's something that we need to check into.
Yeah, you know, and again, if someone once said that, you know, data centers, you know, we might have a spot for them, but they don't produce no people. All you're gonna get is property tax off of it. You're gonna get some hard workers that'll come in and build it. And there may be a spot in Benton County for it, maybe out in the middle of a landfill. That might be all right. I mean, that would probably work. Well,
Okay,
Nick,
I'm
right,
going
I'll
to-
shut up.
That's
Yeah.
okay,
Good.
thank you. Yeah, let me record. Okay. Ms. Wanda says that there are people texting her saying that they cannot hear what we're saying, for us to please speak into the microphone. Okay. I'm going to recognize somebody in the audience that wants to make a comment about this subject that we're talking about. Mr. Canberry.
Hey guys, I've said where you're at before, and we were talking about, oh, let me come up, yes, sorry. Sorry, I've been studying this issue extensively, and Commissioner Fowler's concerns are real and valid. Commissioner Arnold's comments are absolutely correct. For decades, Benton County has, at one point or another, considered adopting the county zoning package from the CTAS, right? They've got a cassette you can just plug in, and boom, you've got countywide zoning. But I can just tell you, you do not want that.
No, you don't.
You
I
do
agree.
not want countywide zoning. There is a solution to this that I've been studying, and I've talked to a couple of state senators and several state representatives. Do you guys remember the Jackson Law with regards to landfills? Landfills are treated specially different than if somebody wants to have a hog farm.
Right.
Right? There has to be transparency. You have to go through certain steps. The county commission has to have input. And Commissioner Arnold's correct. You can't have a county ordinance. That's not how it works. The county is under the purview of the state government. You're just basically the pinky toe of the state of Tennessee. You don't get to do county ordinances. But if you would reach out to our state rep and state senators, Stevens and Tandy Darby, and say, hey, we want a Jackson Law type law that deals just with data centers of a certain size. Because if somebody wants to put a little tiny data center or a tiny little Bitcoin mining thing, that's not really going to inconvenience their neighbors. But if you're talking about a 100,000 megawatt super mega data center, that's going to mess up a lot of stuff out in the county. And currently, the way Benton County is structured, we have no county zoning at all, which I like. And all us country folks, we like not being told you can't put your pig there, your goat there, or your sheep where you want to put them. Okay? And so we want to keep it that way, I think.
We do.
And so the solution is not to adopt county zoning. That is a cluster. You do not want that, and I guarantee you this room will be immediately full of unhappy citizens who live outside the city.
And see, that's why you're up here talking. You understand a little more about it than some of us, probably every one of us. And I'm proud that you're up here explaining it.
Yeah.
We just.
But if you'll reach out to the state rep and state senator and say, hey, we want some kind of law like the Jackson Law. Maybe it could be added to Benton County's private act, or maybe it needs to be a statewide thing like the Jackson Law is. But that way you could then have say-so as a commission, as a county body of, hey, we need full transparency. We need to know how big you are, how much electricity, how much water, how many actual jobs are you going to bring, which is, it's usually 5 or something. Yeah, it's not many. But then that way you've got the transparency and the say-so without adopting countywide zoning. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, you're recognized.
Mr. Berry, thank you for enlightening us on that. As soon as all that came out last month or whenever it was, saying that we were trying to get a data center, which was not true at all, I started calling the state senators and state reps and asked them what we could do to curtail that from happening. I know the county and the industrial board's not going to do it, but we don't control very much of Benton County. You know, the private landowners control that. And if they're close to a power grid, then like you said, they could sell their land and somebody could do it without us even having to say so. So what you said was exactly what they told me. They're looking at doing a statewide thing. The Senate and the House already, they're looking to protect all of Tennessee. And they said, just give us some time. Of course, they won't be in session until January, so it's gonna be a little time. But said, just give us some time and we'll have a law for y'all to pass, just like the Jackson law on landfills for data centers. So I appreciate you reaffirming that.
We're moving on to number 4 on our agenda. Well, before I move on, is there any other commissioner? I don't want to leave anybody out. Okay, now we're moving on to number 4, which is county mayor or county attorney. Do you have anything, Mayor?
You know, I really hate that our commission, I kind of agree with Mr. Jim Price. I hate that it's turned into a political thing here close to the election where 2 or 3 commissioners have to try to get a dig in using this time for politics. But the one thing that Mr. Jerry Price, commissioner, said I think needs to be addressed. I think it was he that was talking about the airport. Was that you, sir?
Yes.
Which part?
About some letter you had from the airport?
Yeah, that was just a clarification. Mr. Mayor.
I know you didn't want me to answer it, but I'd like for Rita. Let me speak. I tried to answer it, and you said you didn't want me to speak, so I'd like for Miss Rita Haslam to come up and speak on exactly what you're talking about, if you don't mind, since she's the authority at the airport. Just to answer your question, sir.
May I clarify for Ms. Hammond? May I
Sure.
clarify?
Absolutely.
This was a question, this found its way on a copy of the budget. I
Yes,
don't
sir.
know how it did, but it did.
Okay.
Here it is, right there, Rita.
Oh, I'm familiar with
You're
that document.
familiar, And I just had a question.
Yes.
One,
Well,
is this something that ran out? Is this, are we mandated to put it back? Don't send it back? What's the deal?
no. Well, first of all, I want to reiterate something I've said at this podium a number of times. I'll never understand why people with questions similar to yours, Commissioner Price, why you don't pick up the phone. I'm available 24/7. You could have easily got a very quick answer to your question at any given time. As soon as you receive that document, you could have made a phone call to me. I'm always available. So I just want to give everyone a little bit of background before I explain the document. So every general aviation airport gets a grant. It's not a grant. They get a allotted amount of money. It's called NPE money, which is non-primary entitlement. Every general aviation airport gets that allotment every year, $150,000. That allotment can either be spent in that fiscal year or it can be shelved and built up over the course of 4 years. You can shelve it to build that amount to do larger projects. That money, along with IIJA money, which is another allotment that we got over a window of time, can be put together to do large projects similar to our terminal renovation. However, after that 4th year, that money starts rolling off. After that 4 years, if your airport does not spend it, you will lose that first initial $150,000 when you get that 5th year. So what happened with the document that Mr. Commissioner Price is talking about is last month we were contacted by TDOT Aeronautics. There was a situation at Fayette County Airport where they had not spent their money. They were losing that money. So they were losing $92,000 and they asked if we had a grant that we could put that money towards that would save Fayette County from losing that money. So when that happens, when airports fail to spend those funds, they automatically go back to discretionary. When that happens and TDOT Aeronautics goes to the government to get more annual funding for airports across the state, if they haven't spent the money that they were already allocated, how do they go and ask for more? Because the government's going to say, why are you asking me for more money if you didn't spend the money that I gave you last year? So TDOT Aeronautics works very hard to ensure that these airports do not lose those MPE funds. So TDOT Aeronautics contacted me and asked if we had a grant that we could apply this $92,000+ to prevent them from losing that money. That helps Fayette County Airport. That helps TDOT Aeronautics. And how us taking on this money helped us was we have a parking lot rehabilitation grant that we are working on. We are in the 3rd phase. So I was able, I spoke with Mayor Ward. He wanted to move forward with helping Fayette County, helping TDOT Aeronautics. So what we did was transfer that money in Black Cat from Fayette County Airport to our MPE balance. Once we were able to do that, that took the local share of our parking lot project from $25,650. Now we only owe $11,787. So this project allows us to rehabilitate our parking lot from the large tree on the curb all the way up to the main terminal concrete at far less than half the cost, merely because we helped out another county. How that will look next fiscal year, instead of us getting that $150,000, we will then in turn give that $92,000. We will allocate that $92,000 back to Fayette County. We don't have a project to allocate that MPE to next year. So it was a win for everyone involved for us to do that. Our win was cutting the cost of renovating our project down to that $11,000 rather than us having to pay $25,000. I feel like that's easily understandable that was in our best interest. I really relayed that in detail to Mr. King and to Mayor Ward, laid it out very clear, sent the forms, and asked if they had any questions. They did not. This does not cost us anything. If anything, this is a large savings for our county, and it also allowed us to serve TDOT Aeronautics and help and assist another airport. We never know in the future when we may need that favor in return to lower our cost again or to prevent us from losing some money, which we don't have a problem with not spending our MPE money, considering the amount of projects that we've done at the airport. I will ask that, we talk about transparency and accountability. Let's make sure we put honesty in that list. Okay? Let's make sure that we add that to that list. One other thing is, where were the questions prior to my appointment about the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars the state tells me repeatedly that we let go back because those funds were not spent? It's unfortunate that we did not have that oversight prior to my appointment when we lost countless hundreds of thousands of dollars from no projects being done and no maintenance being done at our airport. So let's make sure that in that instance that we're looking back, not just forward, because there was a tremendous amount of loss. Sir, you were a commissioner. Any other questions? Mayor Ward?
I appreciate you. I appreciate you explaining that, Rita. Thank you.
Sure. Yes,
You
Commissioner
got a
Fowler?
question?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I'm
Anyone else
happy
have
to
a
answer.
question for Rita?
Ma'am, you are losing so much money at that airport, it's unbelievable. You talk about all these grants we're writing, we're paying a percentage of those right there. When you're doing this, you've lost $158,000 last year on
Yes.
operating procedures. Now,
Well-
do you think that's great? That's awesome. But it ain't great, ma'am. You're leaning toward 175 this year.
Commissioner Fowler?
You writing grants without coming
Commissioner
before this
Fowler,
board.
I asked
That's
if you
what I
had
said.
a question for her. Do you have a
She said
question?
comment. So
I
I'll
am-
Do
leave
you have
the
a
floor.
question?
I am the airport manager. I was appointed by the mayor. My budget was approved by this county commission, and I have worked well within my budget. I have never once come to this commission and asked for money outside of my fuel money, which was well known when my budget was passed.
Well, we thought your fuel money would help pay your budget.
Well, let me tell you something, Commissioner
But
Fowler.
it's not happening.
When I'm When I'm collecting
Oh, you're-
all of the rent
Commissioner
due,
Fowler, please let her speak.
Okay,
when
Okay?
I'm
And then
collecting
you can-
rent at every hangar that we have at the airport, we're collecting rent on less than 50% of our hangars. When we're collecting rent on every hangar at the airport and I'm getting the fuel sales that come along with that rent, then we can have a real discussion about my revenue.
so we keep letting the taxpayer pay out
Do you have a
$158,000,
do you have a
$165,000.
question?
Yeah, so we keep letting the taxpayers pay the $150,000,
Sir,
$160,000.
you do magic math, okay? I'm doing real
I
math.
manage a lot more
Okay,
than you
we're
do in
not,
my day.
we're gonna move on.
Thank
We're
you.
not going to talk about the airport anymore. I think she answered Mr. Price's question, so we're going to move on. Our county attorney, Mr. King, do you have anything? Okay. Number 5 is, we have, someone here tonight that would like to talk to us. It's GGM Recreation and Parks Advisory Group consulting firm. And if you guys would like to, come forward and speak to us.
Good evening, Mayor,
Hello.
Commissioners. Thank you for having us. We met with Mayor Ward a few weeks ago, and we shared our love of parks and what we do with Parks and Recreation throughout the state. We are a young company. I'll share that with you. And we talked back and forth about producing a master plan and helping Benton County. And he was very clear he wanted to help Camden, Big Sandy, the entire county. It wasn't just the outside of those two entities. It was everybody involved. And so just briefly, I'm with two colleagues, Gerald Parrish, George Brogdon. We all work for the state of Tennessee at some point in time. We're Director of Recreation Services, which is a sister agency of state parks. Gerald was also director. George was also a consultant for us. But George, why don't you stand just real quickly and give a 30-second overview of who you are.
I'm Gerald Perry. I'm the oldest one of the bunch, and I'm the first GE. We started this business to work with economically stressed communities and at-risk communities, and that's our goal, to help them get where they can be self-sufficient and provide a quality of life for each and every citizen within the county. George.
Been in Parks and Recreation for 50 years, started in 1976, served as assistant city administrator in Germantown, and worked for the state and was part of a park department that received the gold medal for the best park department in the country. And so, well, what we try to do is develop you a plan and a roadmap for the next 10 years. And we worked with numerous counties in West Tennessee.
So go ahead, Scott. Thank you. A little bit more about us on the next slide. If we'll come up. There we go. So who are we? Well, first of all, we're 40-year friends. We've known each other since the early 1990s, 1980s, even maybe beyond that. But we're advisors and confidants. We help communities. We're rather just than consultants who may believe we have all the answers. We are very experienced. We're very knowledgeable. We know a lot of the contacts, but we also listen to community leaders and citizens. That's one of the things that sets us apart from a lot of other A&E firms or folks that do types of planning. We engage and we listen, and that's what we pride ourselves on doing. Services include, we do a lot of budget and finance services, which is grant applications. We've got several grants that we're working through now with several different counties, from Tiptonville, Lake County, Houston County, Stewart County, Ardmore, Giles County, Bells, Crockett County, Perry County, where we work very closely with these counties and cities within that to help them with grants and grant administration, fee policies. We do a lot of planning services. That what gets us started. As you as a county, you have to have a plan. We'll look at some grants in just a second, but the state requires you to have a plan, a master plan, a comprehensive master plan, and that's what we do. Park and facility development services. We do a lot of site evaluation. We help with RFQ and RFP process and implementation. We do a lot of park and facility concept design, and project management. We're helping Houston County now with project management. They have the old National Guard Armory. They're converting into a community center, a recreation center, and we're doing all the project management for that, getting our contractors in there, renovating that whole facility, along with the park that's outside between Aaron and Tennessee Ridge. We do assessment services. We do a lot of stuff with organizational and staffing levels, programs, and events. We do organizational administrative services as well, hiring and mentoring park and park director or park staff and so forth like that. Like I said, we have a lot of really good experience, but as one of my friends said, our mission when we started this company a little over 2 years ago was to work with small, medium, and rural communities. I think Gerald said distressed communities, economically distressed, people who they have some really nice potential and really some nice park areas, Benton County. I live right across the river in New Johnsonville. I come here most of the time. I don't go to Waverly a whole lot. I come here mostly. And you have some really nice things, but can we provide better? And I think that's what Mayor Ward was looking at, was helping all the citizens of this county and how we can improve the quality of life, how we can improve recreation services, trails, and those type of things. And that's what we do. Next slide real quick. So I'm not going to go through all the minimum components of Park and Recreation Master Plan. We can look at that another day, but we do a lot of things. We even involve our high school students, something that a lot of people have never done. We go into the high school, we ask the students to give us their feedback as well. So we also not only work with citizens, but we want to engage our students also. So we provide, as George said, a roadmap of park and recreation type projects, short, mid, and long-term goals. We do a lot of public input and acceptance of the plan by the governing body as well. Next slide, please. And but we go even beyond that. We do a lot of things. We align with the Tennessee statewide comprehensive outdoor recreation plan. We evaluate water and land sports, park maintenance standards, and other community recreation offerings. So we do a lot of comprehensive work when we come in to a community, and that's what we're offering our services for. Next slide, last slide, I think. Let's move on forward. That's just a key of timeline of what we would look at as a master plan. It takes about 5 or 6 months from beginning to end once we're approved. But then other key dates, and keep in mind, we work a lot with local parks and recreation fund. I developed that process, that program back in the early 90s. Gerald and George also were very instrumental in improving that process over the years. We also work with Federal Land and Water Conservation Fund and the Recreation Trails Program. We hear from citizens. I see Facebook, I see social media in Benton County. I'm like I said, I'm here, so I see splash pads and trails and all kinds of neat things that can be done with grants and so forth. But one of those primary focuses is the LPRF, the LWCF, and the Recreation Trails Fund. Those usually do. You get a notice in December. The intent to apply is going to be early next year, and then the applications are due right around April 1st of 2027. So that's why at this point we have communities reaching out to us saying we need a master plan. We need to get moving forward. We want you to help us with our grant application. We also have historical commission grants. We do a lot of things with Civil War Preservation Fund. We've also reached out and worked with the Tennessee Department of Health grants. A lot of their Healthy Active Rural Tennessee grants are due by the end of June each year. So there's some of that. We also work with Tennessee Economic and Community Development, CDBG grants. There's about $26 million a year. 40 communities are funded. And a lot of times when I was working, I was Parks Director in the city of Clarksville for 15 years. And they were constantly coming to us and asking us, can you use CDBG funds? So those are some things that we can work with. Blue Cross Blue Shield, they are working across the state and providing grants, and a lot of them going for playgrounds, splash parks at almost basically no charge to the communities. Those are things that we can help with. So if you see in the future, with pretty quickly, if you will, or whatever, we'll be glad to help with you and work on that down the line. Any questions at this point? Last slide.
I do.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Parrish. Yes, sir. I'm going back several years. Wasn't you the person? I am. You
brought the ball fields to Benton County out at the industrial park.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That was several years ago. Thank you.
That's about
So I
10
just
years
want the
ago.
commission to know who you are. That's how serious he is. The last slide you had, you mentioned Civil War.
Yes.
We had the Tennessee War Department survey the spot in 1941 north of Eagle Creek.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it's forgotten about. It's massive trenches at the top of one of them bluffs overlooking Tennessee River and the Duck River rifle pit. It's all on TVA property. Is that Tyler Hands?
TVA is a difficult entity to work with, but not impossible. I will share that with you. We've had some contact with TVA over the years. We've had some really good friends, but we can certainly call them up and see what we can do.
Thank you. I'll let y'all go home.
Yeah,
Thank
can't
you.
make any promises, but you know they're a difficult one to work with.
You
But
know about it now.
we do. Thank you. That's really really good.
Shake your hand. It's been a while since I saw you.
Last time I saw you, Barry Barnett was like,
That's correct.
yes, sir.
Any other questions?
I have a statement.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank y'all for coming tonight. Over the last 4 years since I've been mayor, I saw the need for recreation in Benton County. I saw the need to address our ball fields. Like you said, how long has it been? 25, 30 years ago when we got the ball fields put in. So we put a couple of $100,000 out there this past year redoing the ball fields and getting them up to specs. And we put a board in place and we've got good goals set forward, and that's why I got in contact with you. I see the need going forward for us to upgrade our ball fields and our park to kind of be compatible with the counties around us. Like I think it was Blue Cross Blue Shield you was telling me that did the park in Huntington. Was it Huntington or Carroll County?
Yeah.
They
Is that correct?
did, and of course they've also gotten state grants.
State grant.
The Carroll County Park
So-
side is really nice. They've done a lot of work.
Yeah, so the reason I wanted y'all to come, I wanted the commissioners to meet y'all and see what y'all had to offer, because when you start looking into expanding, I know that we have the land up there and we have the need in Benton County to have soccer fields, and we have the room. We need to have a splash pad. We need to have a playground. It just hit me wrong when Benton County schools are letting out to go on field trips and they're going to Huntington on a field trip to a park that we should have right here in Benton County. So these guys, they have it all down. They know exactly what it is. But what you have to have is, what kind of plan did you call that?
Parks and Recreation Master Plan.
The master
State
plan
required.
is something that we really need. We need counsel in that. And I just wanted y'all to hear their spiel and y'all give me advice on how you want to go forward with it in the future. Because I think that we need to do the master plan for sure and have every board, the Parks and Recs, property, budget, everybody tell us how we need to go forward in the future. But I wanted y'all, I know this is budget time and it's probably not a good time to bring it up, but it is time that we need to be talking about it if we're going to try to do something this next year coming forward. So I appreciate y'all coming, and if you'll get me the information, I'll get a packet out to each commissioner where they can talk about it and we can try to figure out what we want to do going forward.
Sounds great. One of the things that we also pride ourselves on is when you work with, and I won't mention specific architect and engineering firm names, but they're all across the state. Typically when they do a master plan, a lot of them don't even do it anymore. They're looking for organizations like us to come in and do those. The last one I paid for in Clarksville was $130,000. We do them at a 60, 70, 80% less than that. So we're very reasonable. Like I said, our goal is to work with smaller communities and counties across the state.
I'm gonna ask that question, nobody wants to answer, what's the cost of the county?
We just finished, I'll give you an example because I think you're very comparable. We finished Perry County and they included Linden and Louisville, so it was a countywide, and it was $30,000.
That was for the master plan.
That was for the master.
But they'll have to give us counsel on which grants. I know Blue Cross and Blue Shield's a zero match grant, and
Yeah.
if we go with a CDBG grant, we're gonna have to coordinate with our industrial board and make sure that they're not in need of that grant before we
Sure.
do it for recreation. We've talked about all that.
Absolutely.
But they would help us with making these plans and seeing how we need to do it to go forward. To make this happen, I think it's very important for our youth to have a good park, and we've got the place for it. We just have neglected it so long. It's just not
And the other
what it
thing
should
is-
be.
We was over at a ball tournament not long ago. The playground's right there close to the ball fields, where ours is way off, away from you can't keep an eye on kids. Well, theirs is right up there close to the ball field, and it's amazing what a great, playground they've got there. Makes theirs look like the difference going to college hall and going to an out.
Well, and one of the biggest things that's growing in Tennessee right now and across the nation is soccer. And we don't have anything adequate. They have a little practice field out there that's not very adequate at all. But we do have land to the right of the water tank, and it's pretty level. I don't think it would cost that much to get it into soccer fields and have a splash pad and different things like the big playground you're talking about. It's something that I have my vision set on. It's just I believe that this organization could help us reach that goal faster and probably more affordable than trying to do it ourselves.
Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I do. This gentleman, let him go ahead and say what he wants to say.
Oh,
Question, and my kids, grandkids go to Paris regularly, to the splash pad. And it's a winter deal over there, of course, it's there where the swimming pool and stuff is at. So what would it require if a splash pad was created? Would it need to be at the local swimming pool?
No.
And that's something that we've thought about as a team. Would it have to be there? No, it doesn't have to be there. You want something centrally located. Obviously, would that make a ideal spot? We'll have to evaluate it and also receive input from everybody in here, including the citizens of Benton County. Where would they like to see it? So. But that, you're right, Dixon County also. Their new splash park up there where the old country club was. They received grants and they've got that, but it's covered up. So go ahead.
And Mark was talking about, this has been a special year for legislators as far as parks are concerned and funding for this thing concerned. Used to be a 50-50 match. Economically distressed communities and at-risk communities, that match went down to 25%. So you're getting 3/4 of money on what you used to get when you were only get half of that. Been more park grants given out in the last 10 years than it has been in the first 50 years of the program. But we want a quality of life to keep your kids here. I've heard you say to your parents and wherever, keep your kids here. I've got a grandson that plays soccer out here on the soccer field this fall. I have granddaughters who play softball over here in the softball park when they had the big tournament out here about 2 years ago, a year ago. That 3,000 or 4,000 kids out here playing ball in the park. So we're just interested in helping economically distressed communities and at-risk communities. To get a better quality of life for all your citizens. That's what we want. We want you out there walking on the track somewhere. We want you out there with your grandkids and playing with something. That's what we're trying. We're just trying to make the quality of life for everybody that. At the cheapest rate we can do. Like Mark said, don't take this literally. This is the truth. We're retired. We do this as a part-time job. We don't have to have what other people have to have. I work out of my house, he works out of his house, and he works out of his house. And he lives in Fayette County, I live in Madison County, and Mark lives across the river. So we don't have to have the expenses a lot of folks have to have. And we don't mind, but we set our limits to who we want to help. We want to help people that want to help themselves. That's the biggest thing we want. We don't want a master plan set on the shelf 10 years down the road and nothing's been done to it. And I can show you some of this bigger community stuff. Yeah, I'm on. Absolutely. So that's that. Well, we appreciate you opportunity to come here today, tonight, and we've enjoyed ourselves and we're going to do that.
Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you very much for coming. Number 6 on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. I need a motion and a second, please. I have a motion by Commissioner Keen and a second by Commissioner Horton. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone oppose it? Okay. Number 7 is the report of the public utilities. Motion by Arnold and a second by Keen. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We're down to our resolutions, and we've got several resolutions that has been pulled by the chairman because of the resolution itself contains money in the resolutions, and because our 26-27 budget is not approved, we cannot vote on these resolutions because the money is designated to the budget, 2026-27 budget. So we can't act on those. And I'm going to call out the numbers for you so that you'll know the ones that have been pulled. That first one there, number 1, number 3, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10, number 20, number 22, and that's it. Those resolutions will not be heard tonight. So we're going to move on to resolution number 2. Do I need to wait for y'all to make some changes?
Yes, it's gonna be new. We're ready for you.
Okay. Resolution number 2 is a resolution by Benton County DOS Mark Florence to seek the Commission's approval for purchasing cooperatives. Need a motion by Commissioner Melton. We have a motion and a second by Commissioner Burke. Any questions? This is something they do every year. Okay, there are none, so everyone please vote.
Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 17 yes.
The next resolution will be resolution number 4, which is 11 on your agenda. It's a resolution authorizing the Board of Education to manage the federal budget for the fiscal year. We have a motion by Arnold and a second by Horton. Any questions? Okay, there are none, so everyone please vote.
Mr. Burke. Mr. Hall.
Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 17 yes.
Resolution 5 is a resolution by Sheriff Ken Christopher to amend resolution number 2026-615, number 16. That was a resolution from last month. It's just an amendment. The numbers were transposed. Which numbers were transposed? Oh, the money at the bottom, the 101.46920, and it's supposed to be what's it supposed to be?
The one on the right is the correct.
Okay. So the number on the right is the correct number. That's what we're doing, is amending last month's resolution to reflect the right number. I have a motion by Milton and a second by Bain. Any questions about it? Okay, everyone please vote.
Anyone wish to change their vote? 17 yes, motion carries.
Okay, Resolution 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are full because they have money involving. So the next one is number 18 on your agenda, which is Resolution 11. It's an appointment. We have 7 appointments to the same committee. Would y'all want to vote on all those together, or you want to do them separately? Okay. So resolution number 11 is by Mayor Ward to reappoint Dana Ferguson to the Benton County Office of Aging / Senior Citizens Committee. We have a motion by Melton, a second by Arnold. All in favor, or vote, please, as you feel.
You know, if it change your vote, motion carries 17 yes.
Resolution 12 is the same resolution. It is to appoint Jimmy Havoc to the Office on Aging and the Senior Center Committee for another term. Motion by Burke and Melton. Okay. Everyone please vote. If you have any questions about any of these, just stop me. I'm just going to go on through there.
Motion carries 17 yes.
Okay, another one by Mayor Ward to reappoint Charlotte Oxford to the Benton County Office on Aging and the Senior Center Committee. Have a motion by Horton and second by Price. Everyone please vote.
You know, if it change your vote, motion carries 17 yes.
Resolution 14 is to reappoint Janelle Thornton Cook to the Benton County Office on Aging and Senior Center Committee. Have a motion by Murphy and a second by Arnold. Okay. If there are no questions, everyone please vote.
You know, if it change your vote, motion carries 17 yes.
Resolution 15 is to reappoint Doris Joe Arnold to the Benton County Office on Aging / Senior Center Committee. If there are no questions, everyone please vote.
You know, if it change your vote, motion carries 17 yes.
Resolution 16 is to reappoint Lisa Wright Flowers to the Benton County Office on Aging / Senior Center Committee for another term. Have a motion by Lashley and Bain. If there are no questions, please vote. Also, this is the last one.
Divine. Yes, Archie. You know, if it change your vote, motion carries 17 yes.
Resolution 17 is to reappoint Brett Burke to the Benton County Office on Aging / Senior Center Committee. If there are no votes, we have a motion and second by Fowler and Douglas. If there are no questions, everyone please vote. Yes. I'm sorry.
You know, if it change your vote, 16 yes, 1 abstain, Brett Hurst.
Okay, number 25 is resolution 18. It's by the mayor to declare 3 county-owned vehicles in possession of the animal shelter as surplus property for the purpose of public sale. A motion by Price and a second by Bain. Any questions? Okay, if there are none, so everyone please vote.
Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 17 yes.
Resolution 19 is an appointment. It's by the mayor to appoint Richard Key to the Benton County E911 Board for a 4-year term. I have a motion by Arnold and a second by Melton. Any questions? Or none, so please vote.
Anyone wish to change their vote? Motion carries 17 yes.
The next 3 resolutions are pulled because they have money in those to vote on.
Is that number 21?
Resolution 21 is not dealing with new money, so we'll pull that one up. It's a resolution, 21. Are you ready? Yes. Okay. It's a resolution authorizing Benton County Mayor Mark Ward to advertise and accept competitive bids for the sale of timber on county-owned property. Motion by Arnold and a second by Horton. Anybody have any questions about this resolution? Commissioner Fowler?
Yeah, I noticed down here in the whereas, it says we'll deposit the money allocated directly into the fund 171. How come we can't put that under 101 in the general fund? And it's 171 capital projects.
This is really, just giving me permission to put it out for bids where y'all can see what kind of money we can get from it. You can put it wherever you want to, whenever y'all
We
decide.
can change this. I mean, it's got all revenues and proceeds.
Well,
derived from
let me
from the
explain.
sale. It said the timber shall be deposited, allocated directly into Fund 171.
Well, that's normally typically where you would put it, because if you put it in 101, that's recurring items normally, where 171's for capital projects. So if you're selling land or trees or whatever, it should go into capital projects. It's 171. That's what CTAS would tell you. And that's why I put it in 171, but you can put it anywhere you want to. Just typically 101 is recurring money, like for salaries and different things. So you really wouldn't want to put it there, I wouldn't think, but I mean, you're welcome to put it wherever you want to. This is just
So this could be changed.
Could I finish?
Go
This is,
ahead. Okay, sorry.
may I start again?
Go ahead, yeah.
This is really just giving me permission to put it out for bids, so y'all can look at it and see if it's something that you even want to accept the bids on, how much money it is, whatnot. As far as the resolution to put the money somewhere, we can do that again after we accept the bids. It's fine with me. I'm just wanting to find out how much money we have sitting out there.
Well, do you remember, probably 5 years ago, we cut that timber off, and it brought, I think, about $658,000, a portion of that timber, and we give $456,000 of that dollars to the industrial board. I mean, how much you think's, do you still remember that amount?
Yes, you're exactly right on that. It's been about 7 years.
7
They had a
years.
5-year contract, so that 5-year contract has expired. I got with the attorney and asked about it, and he said, y'all can put it out for bids and sell the rest. Fortunately, the company that paid so much for that, they only got the big timber, the real big timber. So there's still quite a bit of timber out there that the county could recoup the money on. And the land that we talked about selling to another industry out there last month that y'all approved, if they decide to take us up on that after the fiasco last month, the 60 acres needs the timber cut on it before they can do anything, and we retain the timber rights. So that's the reason that I'm putting that up now, so we'll know if it's something that we want to do going forward.
You can see a lot better landscape too, with the timber off.
Correct. So thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, there are none, so everyone please vote.
You want to wait?
We'll just go on. Yeah.
Motion carries 16 yes, 1 absent, and 1 did not vote.
The next resolution is 23. It's a resolution authorizing lease of county-owned property to the Benton County Veterans Memorial Committee. Need a motion and a second. A motion by Arnold and a second by Price. Any questions about leasing the property? Okay, there are none, so everyone please vote.
Carries 5. It was, you did it like that. You know, we should change your vote.
Have a choice on that?
Okay. Now, before we move on, the mayor is asked to say something about that resolution.
Yeah, that resolution wasn't read, so no one really knows exactly what that was. But I want to thank y'all so much. A unanimous vote on that. About 15 years ago, we donated land out at the industrial park beside the ball fields for a veterans memorial. And somebody had brought it to my attention last month that the resolution, when that passed back that many years ago, it didn't give it to them for a certain amount of time. It just says y'all can use it until the county commission deems otherwise. And so looking at that language, I got with the attorney and just talked about it, and I was wanting to deed it to them, to this 401c3 for the Veterans Memorial, because they've spent a lot of money out there. It's really nice, but I was advised to do a 99-year lease on it. So I think that covers us adequately for the investment that they're putting out there. They feel comfortable to continue to build that up and make it look nice. And our veterans in our community really deserve that. And I thank y'all for backing me on that. I know all of y'all read that through committees, and it's already been through committees, but the people out there listening didn't know exactly what y'all was voting on there. So thank you.
Okay, next on our agenda is the appointing of notaries. I need a motion and a second, please. We have a motion and a second by Arnold and Melton. We have 2 notaries, Kimberly Plunk and Sarah Huff. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We do have a resolution that came in. It was just a little bit late. We couldn't get it on the agenda. It's resolution 24. It's concerning our West Tennessee Healthcare and ambulance. So I need a motion to suspend the rules so we can bring this up.
Make a motion to suspend the rules, take the back on.
Okay.
Well, you have it, so we have
Miller and Bain. I beat you to it. Okay. Is there any discussion about this? Does everybody understand it? I know it was talked about in committees.
We are in the middle of a vote to suspend the rules.
Okay.
Chairman,
Yes.
question.
Okay.
Section 2 at the bottom mentions, account 171-390000, and again, account 171-91140.718. I'm not finding those accounts in 2026 budget or the last draft of the 27 budget. Do those accounts have to be created?
Okay, what we have to do tonight is suspend the rules to bring this up. Has everybody voted to suspend the rules? Okay.
We still have a vote on the floor.
So you're waiting for everybody to vote? Has everybody voted to suspend the rules?
We were waiting for the discussion to
This
get.
is about to suspend the rules first.
Yeah, suspend the rules, and then we're gonna go to the discussion on the resolution.
Okay. You know,
Now.
change your vote.
We can have a discussion.
Now that the rules have suspended.
Whatever you want, right?
And what I was told by our chairman budget is that the number, the figure that you're talking about, we need an amendment to take that out. And Mr. Melton, would you want to explain a little bit more about that?
Because we don't have a budget, we cannot do anything that has to do with numbers and your monies.
Yeah.
Therefore, in order to, give the mayor permission to, seek the grant, we will need to amend this resolution and remove the first whereas, section 1 and section 2 at the bottom, and remove where it says section 3, but the rest, all of section 3 is okay, just take section 3 wording out. That removes all of the dollar figures and allows us to go ahead and apply to, and on the back page, where it says decrease and increase, that would have to be removed also. That allows.
Can I get that wrote down? So we do one.
Yeah, we hadn't had the amendment yet, but we're,
Yeah.
just a minute. Okay, did everyone understand that we're taking the dollar amount out of this resolution so we can move forward with it? Okay, so I need someone to make that amendment.
Yeah, I'll make a
Okay, Commissioner
I'll
Melton, who was that? I didn't see who, okay. Portman Douglas on the amendment. Yeah, but they,
Milton and then for the.
That's what I was.
this is for the amendment.
Yes, I got it.
Removing all the dollar
We're ready for the vote on the amendment.
Okay, so if you're for the amendment, which is to remove all the dollars out of the resolution, please vote.
You know, we change their vote. Motion carried, 17 yes.
Okay, now we need to vote on this resolution as we just amended it. And the floor is open for discussion. Does anyone, Ms. Bain, did you have something? Okay. Rocky, do you still have something that you'd like to question?
Thank you, President.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. I see no other discussion, so we're ready to vote.
Bill Milton, or do you have anything else to say? Because it came up saying you.
No, that was for the amendment.
We're ready for a vote, Madam Chair?
Yes.
As amended.
The line. Any other to change their vote? Motion carried, 17 yes. As amended.
Okay, we're down to number 32 on our agenda, which is any other business. Does anyone have any other business you'd like to talk about or discuss? Okay, I do have an announcement here that I was given to announce, and the announcement is about Ms. Haslam at the airport. It says here that we want to congratulate Rita Haslam, the airport manager, on her recent appointment to the Tennessee Aviation Association Legislative Committee. Rita will be working alongside with state legislators to advocate for the funding and infrastructure needs of the airports across Tennessee. We want to congratulate her because this is a very well-deserved appointment, and it's an honor to serve on any state committee that you can serve on like that. Okay, that's all. Anybody got anything else? If not, motion to adjourn. By Arnold, second by? No, okay. Aye.
7:30.